Welcome back to the channel. Firstly, I really appreciate you. Okay, going to get into the content in just a few moments. But before we do, so many of you hit me up asking questions, asking for more content, more mentorship, mastermind supports. Do I offer any courses? Well, look, good news. I've just released something called 90-Day Rent to SA. All right, and it's going to guide you through everything that you need to do from no experience all the way to sourcing the right deal, cash flowing the right deal, even systemizing the right deal. So if you want to invest in something, you want somebody to support you and you like the way that I move, all right, then what I would do is I'll post the link, top of the description, head over there, 90-Day Rent to SA, find out a little bit more as a breakdown of the whole curriculum, including videos showing you exactly what's included. It's amazing stuff. I've literally spent 5 years of my life learning this stuff, and then I've spent tens of thousands of pounds packaging it up in a way that not only, okay, that will help you learn this stuff, but it's also gonna get you results within 90 days. Sound good? Hit the link. Let's get into today's content. If you're watching this, there's a very good chance you're here for rent-to-rent deals. And if you are, I've got an amazing framework to share with you on this video, which is really going to help you get your first deal. I'm Simon. If you're not familiar with me, I have a 7-figure revenue rent-to-rent business. That's SAs and HMOs. And I started this channel to do the content that I wish I had when I started. So if that sounds good, you're in the right place. Now, the thing is, I speak to a lot of you about your first rent-to-rent deal or your next deal, and I often see people getting a little bit too excited maybe when they find a landlord that's open to the idea of rent-to-rent, and then they get to the property and it's not great. And to the same degree, I see it the other way around. I see some people trying to force properties to work when the landlord is bad. So I've got a framework I want to share with you, okay? There's 2 steps, 2 stages, 2 criteria that make a great rent-to-rent deal. Number 1 is, of course, the landlord. Okay, so that means you want the right kind of landlord that's on board with rent to rent. But the second is, of course, the property. And you want a property that is of good quality, in good location, etc. Now, what's really funny is if we use a rating system, that's what I like to do. 10 out of 10. 10 is the best property or landlord, and 0 is the worst. You need to get the right balance, because as you can imagine, a 10 out of 10 landlord, but a 1 out of 10 property, it's no deal. The landlord can be as on board with the idea of rent to rent as you like. The property is rubbish. And vice versa. You could find the sweetest, beautiful 10 out of 10 property, but if the landlords are 2 and they're hard to work with and they don't want to relax and be hands-free, then you're gonna have big issues as well. So what exactly makes a 10 out of 10 landlord? Well, for me, the type of landlord you want to be looking for is typically somebody that's busy, or, you know, sometimes they're quite busy professionals, sometimes they're a little bit older, but either way, they've not got the time to manage the property. They've not even got the time to manage the letting agent when they are trying to manage the property. Because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of letting agents actually need managing. You pay a letting agent to manage your property, and then you end up managing the letting agent. That's why so many landlords get frustrated. So they've not got time, all right? They've not got the energy. They've not got the impetus. You know, maybe they know that they could manage it and do it on Airbnb or whatever, but they just can't be bothered. You know, a lot of the landlords are not local. So if you've got a landlord that's in Australia, yeah, that's going to be good. To the same degree, if you've got a landlord that lives 3 doors up the road and knows all the neighbors and, you know, is going to watch every single thing and be on you when the garden's not properly done or the bins haven't been put out, not good. So that's what we're looking for in terms of the ideal landlord, all right? That's what makes a 10 out of 10 landlord. And then the property, well, what makes a 10 out of 10 property. We want something that's in good condition, you know, so we don't have to spend too much on it. We want something that's in a good location, you know, maybe parking, maybe modern bathrooms and showers, you know, maybe it's got new carpets and flooring. It's got, you know, really nice grounds, but not too much garden, because if it's got too much garden, it's going to take too much to maintain. Now, the ideal property deal would score 10 out of 10 on Landlord, 10 out of 10 on property. And what I want you to do right now is just do me a favor, comment below and let me know which one you would prefer. If you could have the ideal property, not so good landlord, or the ideal landlord, not so good property, what would you do? Comment below, just put landlord if you'd prefer the focus on the landlord, property if you'd prefer the better property with a slightly less good landlord. Because for me, obviously, the perfect deal is a 10 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. But I would sooner a 10 out of 10 landlord with a 7 out of 10 property, okay, than the other way round. Because there's nothing worse than doing a rent-to-rent deal and the landlord just being really difficult to work with, and it feels like there's friction. So this is a framework that you guys need to use. And what it means, like the way I use this, is it means that until I've done the property viewing and seen the property, it's no deal. So, you know, maybe you're on open rent, or maybe you speak to somebody and the landlord's perfect, but you ain't seen the property. Well, that's only 50% of the battle. So don't even waste your time crunching the figures and overthinking this until you've seen the property and the landlord. The same goes in reverse. I've seen amazing properties and fallen in love with them, but I know until I've met the landlord or spoken to the landlord, it doesn't mean anything. So I hope you found this useful. This is a framework that you should use when you're thinking of your deals, and never ever underplay the importance of a good landlord and a good property. Hope you found this useful. If you have, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.